Christian wasn't named for the friendlies with the United States. What are your thoughts behind that?
Well, again, it's out of my control. I mean, obviously, I think, personally, that he should be involved, but I don't make those decisions. You know, some of the small details that Christian does for our team, you know, are hard to translate sometimes when you're just watching games on TV or from afar, and how they scout and different people, because Dave obviously can't watch every player live. I mean, I'm sure he watches pretty much every MLS game. And then he's got European games that he has to watch. So that's a lot on his plate. So he gets feedback from different people. I mean, it's a different beast. But obviously from us, from our side of things, he certainly is deserved of that recognition. And I think his inclusion in the last couple of camps and everything, I mean, he's on the cusp. He's on the verge. So I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
He's a versatile player. Is there a specific position which you think his attributes kind of come out?
Christian?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his attributes are that he hates to lose. He does whatever it takes to sacrifice himself for the team. He's goal dangerous at times. He's good in the air. There's lots of things that he's there. If you want to talk positionally, it's a longer conversation. Because again, he can plug and play in different formations. He could play, obviously, in the middle. He's played in the 4-2 for us. Could he play 4-4-2 inside? Depends on how they set up is it a diamond midfield, is it a flat midfield? He could play any of those. He could play wide and pinch in and let the outside backs go. That's common in modern soccer these days. I mean, his tactical acumen is what makes that possible. It's not just because, okay, he's a nice kid and coaches take advantage of him. His tactical knowledge of the game is what makes him such a valuable player.
Is that what makes this team, their tactical knowledge and their versatility, all of the players, for you in terms of going from, I'm just going to, you win, you lose, you come back, but then there's always some steadiness in the team, consistency?
Well, I would say this, Maz, that look, in our training plans and what we think about as far as players are concerned, yes, you need to have a definitive formation that you start with. And you prepare for your opponents. Okay, we think Colorado's going to come in a 4-diamond-2. And then what happens if they come in a back line of 5? Then we have to adjust. The work we've done on the training field, we have to adjust. So the players have to adjust on the field in a hurry based on what their opponents are doing. So we always try and train a certain way. We try and have them disciplined. They know their roles and responsibilities. Then the game happens. And then I'm the kind of guy that gives them a little bit of leeway there. I mean, if they see opportunities to be better than their opponent, happy for them to take them. As long as their defensive responsibility, whatever they have, is being covered by someone else, and that's part of a good team.
And is that, I know you just said it, but I just want to hear it again. You believe in self-expressing the players, but to me, it sounds like you're a defensive-minded coach in terms of we got to defend first before we can move anywhere else.
No, I would say if we keep possession of the ball, that's the best form of defending.
Okay.
I mean, you looked at the film against Colorado. And our statistical performance was pretty impressive. You know, we had a lot of possession, and a lot of possession in their half of the field. And so there were times when you watched that game that Chad and Kim Ki-hee were left 2 for 2 with their center backs, or with their forwards. And I'm having a conversation with the guys, the coaching staff and the players this morning. Is that safe to play 2 for 2? Well, if you don't give the ball away, then it's safe. But somebody has to be aware. There has to be some awareness of, covering in case something goes wrong. So it's a balance. I mean, I don't think that we are, overly defensive. I actually like the guys to be creative in attack.
I wasn't saying more in terms like you bunker up and do the whole park the bus, but I just in terms of if you lose the ball, you have to get it back.
Guys have individual responsibilities, and I'll start top to back. Front to back. So we're in the attacking half of the field, ball turns over, Raul, Nico, Victor, immediate chase. They got to press. They got to press immediately to win the ball back right away. As we're holding possession of the ball, there's active defending. The guys behind them have to be aware if the ball does turn over, okay, where can we put pressure on the opponent to win the ball back right away? There are certain things that each line, the forwards and midfielders and defenders, have to do, both in attack and also understanding their defensive responsibilities when the ball turns over.
And what about transition? How does that play into that? Once you attack, get the ball, and then quickly turn that into offensive.
Well, that's always kind of the challenge. Nico likes to go. Sometimes we need to take more possession. It's always, again, the players on the field, I give them the ability to make decisions, good decisions on the field.
Regarding national team duty, obviously you guys have ongoing discussions all the time with the various federations that guys might get called in for. At this stage of the season, what do those conversations kind of sound like, and then what give and take goes into working with the various national federations?
Well, I mean, look, we have conversations with our players first, then we have conversations with national team, depending on the circumstance. I mean, right now, we don't know if there's a couple guys that aren't on the final rosters yet. So once we get the final rosters, then we'll start having more serious conversations. But yeah, we're always trying to figure out and make sure that, hey, look, if it's a meaningful game, Gustav's going to go to Sweden because those games mean something. If it's a friendly, is there a little flexibility? Those are the types of conversations. If the guy is featuring in the 2 games or one of the 2 games, I mean, there's lots of things we discuss.
Do you know this conversation started before, let's say, Peru put out their rotation for that game, the players they called?
No, the letters, I don't know the timeline. The letters have to come out by a certain date, the preliminary rosters, and then after that, that's when you start talking.
So a guy like Raul, that's so important. Is that somebody maybe you would want to keep for those particular 4 games?
Well, we'd like to keep Raul, but we understand that the national team, it's an international fixture, and the associations, they want their players well. So, we'll talk about it once it happens.
What's the timeline on Harry Shipp? How's he doing? We saw him out here doing a little bit of work.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit of work. I mean, he's still probably a week or 2 away, but good to have him on the field. He's working with Jordan, so 2 nice kids.
Would you say he's further along than Brad is right now?
Yeah, only because his injury happened a couple days before, but it's hard to say. It's early.
Any early thoughts on Houston, and obviously a team that's very offensive, a lot of weapons on the outside?
Yeah, a lot of weapons, but they have some international games too. And they have some players that might be gone. So you guys can dig into that. But a good team. Very good team.